Welcome to Retire Rich with Mark and Carlos, Tales of Financial Freedom. I'm Marc Hernandez, and today I have the pleasure of having a guest who is one of our heroes, Anissa. Anissa is a healthcare professional, and I've asked her to come in today to share her story and provide insight on how healthcare workers can become financially successful. Welcome, Anissa.
Thank you, Mark. It's nice to be here this morning.
Anissa, the first thing I'd like to ask you is how did you get interested in working in the healthcare field?
Well, I'll say a lot of it had to do with my family. They are all teachers. They all are educators. They really went in to help people, and I felt that that wasn't quite my calling, but helping people was going to be something that I really wanted to do. So I decided to start in the healthcare field. So I started off just here and there. Right out of high school, I went in to be a surgical technologist, went into the hospital, and now over the years, I've become a registered nurse. So had an opportunity to grow in the healthcare field, but it's continued to be helping people. So it's that rewarding part of life that you're still helping people, teaching, but in a different manner. I would say the healthcare field has just been the thing that's helped me grow so much, in the fact of I was still able to help people just like the rest of my family, but it just in a different way.
Well, the thing is, not only are you a registered nurse, but you're also in charge of many other nurses and healthcare workers. Tell us about your experience doing that.
So, as I was as a nurse in the operating room, I have also developed. So, I decided to become a charge nurse in that area. I also then, over the years, became manager, and now I'm actually the director of surgical services. So, have quite a few employees, quite a few departments that are under me, but I am still able to get into the front lines with my staff to help. So, not only am I now helping patients, but I'm also helping my employees to grow. So,
Well,
yes.
well, that's wonderful, and we thank you very much for what you do and what everybody in your field does. Uh, I'm interested to know, and I'm sure our audience will be interested to know, is how you got started in investing for your future. How did you start saving and investing?
So a lot of it was, I think, more to, of course, your parents, right? Your parents are those guides to take you to, you need to plan for your future. I think one of the big ones was always I started off working very young, so I did start off at 19 in a hospital. So here you are, you sign up for your benefits, and you're trying to figure it out, and you see something that talks about investing for your retirement, and you're thinking 19. I don't have to worry about investing. Nothing's going to happen. I'm 19. I'm not going to retire anytime soon. But my parents always influenced us in the fact that we needed to ensure that we had something ready for our future. So I said, well, I sign up for this retirement thing and put some money in there and figure it out. I mean, at 19, you're really not thinking about how are you going to invest in your future, because you feel like you've got years and years to go. So I started off and again, at this hospital, investing in my retirement, not understanding it though, not understanding, well, you put money in there and how much and what should you do and how should you, where does it actually go, right? What does it do? It was just okay, well, this is where you put money. So when you retire, there's some money there.
Now, what type of program did you start putting money into?
It was a 401k. So it was a 401k that, again, didn't know what that really meant. It was just a retirement plan, and it was labeled a 401k. And that's where I put my money and said, okay, well, I know I'm supposed to put some money in there. And they talk to you about how much percent, and you're afraid because you're just making money. You want to keep your money in your pocket because you want to make sure you have money to spend. But how do you plan for your future? And so it's a decision that I guess I made at that point to, well, let me start with, and I'll never forget it because I started with 5%. And I said, okay, I'm going to start with this amount and let's see what happens, because this is what they tell me is at least the minimum.
Now, were you helped in any way? Where did somebody guide you and give you advice on what to do, how to invest the money inside the 401k?
So no, because and again, you're given a pamphlet. You're giving all your benefits in this nice little book and pamphlet, and says, just make sure you're checking these boxes and decide, do you want to be aggressive, moderate, conservative? To look at these different stock options, and this kind of gives you an idea. There's a little table here you can look into and decide. There was no one to really tell me, Anissa, if you're really looking at this, you don't plan to retire anytime in the near future, you shouldn't be an aggressive investor. You should put some money, you should at least do 20% because you're a single person and your taxes are going to be so high. And they didn't really guide you on any of that. They just made sure that you knew your benefits, you knew you had these things available to you, and don't forget to sign up.
Now, let me take you back to that point again in the past. Would it have been helpful to work with a financial professional who had experience in guiding employees and giving recommendations on 401ks? Do you feel that that would have been helpful to you?
Oh, I think so tremendously. I think that was a big opportunity that maybe I lost at some point because of the fact that there was no, this is probably a very good plan for you to plan for your future. Keep doing these things, because we as young people, and I will say, you worry about, having money available, and what am I going to do because my taxes are going to be this high, and I need to be sure I have money in the bank. And but you're not thinking about your future, you're not thinking about what is it going to be. You know what, that those extra dollars you could have put into your 401k could have helped your tax situation at the end of the year, and then look at how much money you'd have, and already investing and planning. I know I see everybody on Facebook and Instagram and listening to all these things about, if you would have put $25 away starting at age 19, look at where you would have been now. Having somebody really tell you that and show you where that would be now, really at that point in your life, would have been a big change for me.
Now, you talked about taxes, and we talk to a lot of our clients who have 401ks or have those type of programs. And one of the things we talk about is pre-tax versus after tax, which would be a traditional contribution to the 401k or a Roth version contribution to the 401k, which has significant tax benefits. When you started, did they have a Roth version that you could contribute to in your 401k? Was that brought to your attention?
So that I know of, because no one was really there to guide me, I never saw that option. So had I, again, had that have been available, I honestly probably wouldn't have known that by myself. I would have had to look that up by myself, because there was no one to really tell me, you should invest in this or check into this, or this would have been a better option for you. At that point, it was just the 401k that I am aware of. I feel that would have just been an opportunity for somebody to be there to ask questions. It's kind of like when you are able to ask about your health benefits, it's having somebody there to talk through it and say, you know what, this is what I'm really looking for. Because if you're guiding yourself, it's a little bit more difficult, because you sometimes, again, don't have those answers for yourself.
Well, Anissa, have you ever had an experience where you worked with your own personal financial advisor over the years? Where somebody said, "Oh, this is the person that if I have a question regarding my finances, regarding you mentioned health insurance, other benefits, that you could rely on and go to for their advice to help you." Have you ever had someone that you considered your own personal financial advisor? And the next part of that question is your coworkers, people that you work with, that you get to know on a daily basis. Are you aware that if they have their own personal financial advisors?
So to answer the first part, I did not. I did not have anyone that was really guiding me. A lot of it is conversation. A lot of it's just some of the what I found looking into things, what investigated myself to figure out on my own because of the fact that I didn't have a financial advisor. Up until recently, it was always a let me look into it, let me Google it, let me search into this, let me see if that's even available within the corporate company that I work for. So it has not been something that I've had someone guide me through until up to recently. For my coworkers and peers, several of us don't, and we discuss it amongst ourselves, and we actually help each other because of the fact of trying to get people to understand a little bit more of what we actually have available. We discuss it at work because of the fact, for me myself, because I'm also guiding my employees to show them some of the options that we have available, but the guidance is not there from any, I think from any of the places that I've been at. There's not been somebody that's come in and actually spoken to us about, hey, you know what, here's your 30-minute in service over how to do this, or guide to, and somebody to follow up with you, somebody just to check on you and make sure in a year even, this is, hey, you know what, you didn't sign up for this, you're missing out on this option or opportunity through your company. A lot of them match your I'm sorry, they match your 401k. Are you even putting in what they match you? Do you know where you're at? You need that follow up with someone. And if there isn't that follow up as a healthcare worker, time flies. And by the time you know it, 3 months have passed and you forgot.
Well, one thing we've mentioned in our previous podcast is many people plan more, take more time planning for a vacation than they do planning for their retirement or planning for their financial success. And you brought up a case about matching. If your employer has a program where they're matching, I've run into cases where employees weren't even putting enough to catch the match. You know, if they're matching 4% or 5%, they're only putting 3%. And so you brought up a valid point that the your coworkers, people that are in your field, that they should take the approach and take advantage of opportunities to talk with a financial professional to better their situation. Well, that brings me to my next question. What obstacles do you feel stand in the way of financial success for healthcare workers?
I think the obstacles that stand in our way is that we feel that it can be taken care of later. I think we don't give ourselves that opportunity. We take care of patients every day. We take care of each other, but we forget to take care of ourselves and think of our futures. A lot of it is the fact that we feel like, well, I'll take care of it tomorrow. It'll get done tomorrow. We work long hours, sometimes late nights, and everybody just wants to go home and rest. But we forget that we need to take care of our future and we need to look into that. I tell people, you know what, you work so hard for your money. Be sure that you're getting out of what we're putting in. Be sure we're getting back. Be sure you're just like we go back to the matching. You work so hard for this facility and you work so hard to take care of your patients. Be sure that you're taking care of yourself and that the facility is taking care of you. This is not money. They're giving you this money and you're not taking advantage of those opportunities because you think you can take care of it tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into a week, turns into a month, turns into a year. You can't turn back that time and you can't get those investments back.
So besides procrastination or waiting, and I think you brought up something regarding the schedules you all work. The schedules could impede someone from feeling that, oh, I've got the time to meet with somebody to help me, meet with maybe a financial advisor or financial professional to help me. Can you think of any other obstacles that pop up that can keep a professional health worker from being successful, financially successful?
I think too that one of the other obstacles is that we feel that what am I gonna what I need to know the certainty of what I'm gonna get from this. They need to feel that and I'll give an example. You know, you feel like, okay, let's use a gym. You're gonna put $50 into the gym. Am I really gonna get that time out of it. You know what? I'm just going to be incurring a bill every month and I'm not going to get anything out of this. They need to know that they're getting that reciprocation, because as we put in all this effort to take care of patients, what is that person going to do to take care of me? We feel that, well, no, we're not going to do it because we don't know what we're going to get out of it, but we don't know what we don't ask and what we don't make that time for. But then we feel that our time is very valuable, so we don't want to waste it on getting this visit with a financial advisor, or how much is this advisor going to cost me? And that unknown creates the obstacle for us, because we don't like unknown. I will say, as healthcare workers, we want it concrete. We want an answer. We want it black and white. If you can't give me that answer, then I can't push forward. And you know what? I'm going to put that on the back burner and it's going to stay. But it goes right back into your retirement. If you don't put it on the front burner, it's not going to get taken care of.
So, as a financial advisor working with healthcare professionals, we need to be aware that they be transparent with what we can do for you and what we're going to charge you to do this service for you. That would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And the second
Very.
thing is, as a financial advisor, we need to be flexible and make ourselves available to be there for to meet with them when they can be seen. Because, like I said, you usually work 12-hour shifts, or maybe you work overtime. The rest of the time, you got to rest, recharge. So to be a successful advisor working with healthcare professionals, we need to be flexible in time and when we can meet with these prospective clients. Would that be accurate? Say that?
That would be very accurate. Yes.
So, what can financial advisors do to be better resources for your profession? We may have brought a little bit of that up just now, but what else can you think of? How can financial advisors become a better resource for your profession?
I honestly would even say, even this with social media. Social media is a huge communication piece. And we were joking about it, as a matter of fact, yesterday. TikTok, even the TikTok, people are shopping on TikTok because they get motivated through that extra communication and just that little incentive of, oh, well, look, this does this. I learned how to do this because I saw that. I think this communication and this podcasts and information that's available, it piques our interest to, wait a minute, how else can I get this information? The availability online, people like to search things by themselves sometimes, or, we wake up in the middle of the night, and what's the first thing some people do is they open up their phone and they start watching YouTube videos or TikToks or reels, and they get into that, I don't want to say groove, but into that routine that they're looking at that. And if this is communication that can go out to incentivize for, this is something that's available for you, utilize these people, because they are here to better your future, to help us plan, because we don't have a planning tool. We're not in a teacher retirement system where, okay, when you add this years and that years, you're going to retire. That's not the healthcare field. The healthcare field is, how long are you going to be able to work and put in those hours, but yet there's no planning done.
Do you find that healthcare professionals uh, burn out or leave the profession? I mean, they're there for some time and they could get burned out and leave and take up another profession. Does that happen quite often?
It does happen. It doesn't happen quite often, but it does happen. I think more to the fact of burnout because of hours worked. We work the hours because um the healthcare field is a 24/7, right? It does not ever stop. So I know with COVID, we did have a lot of people leave the profession at that point. Now in this day and age, we have grown. I know there is lots of new people in the healthcare field and lots of people that are joining in. So there was a time when it felt like everybody was getting to the retirement age, and now all of a sudden we have the new generation arriving. So I think there's a little hard balance, because I do have a multitude of individuals from generation I would say the millennials all the way to the baby boomers in my department. And it's just a different environment altogether. So there are some that feel that they're burning out, but they may even be the middle ones now and not your boomers that you think are already ready to go. They're ready to stay a little bit longer. But a lot of that too is the fear of not having financial planning.
Well, one thing you brought up was social media. How can a financial advisor like myself be able to meet more healthcare professionals? What do you feel would be the best way for us as financial advisors to reach out to healthcare professionals?
This informational video is very good, and it's a podcast, right? But
Mm-hmm.
just that informational video of what you offer, what are the things that are available, even snippets of what you do have. What is it? Even a small portion of, let's say, the 401k optimizer. What does it do? What does it entail? How do you follow up? Giving that information to someone is the idea of, okay, wait, that kind of sounds like maybe that's something I do want to look into. Okay, how can I reach out to them? Can I click on the Instagram and sign up and get a phone call? Can I get an email from them that's going to guide me a little bit more? I think that lets us kind of dabble in it, hear a little bit more about it, and decide, well, you know what? I don't really like that, but what else do they have? Okay, well, let me see. Let me click on this one and let me hear their little blurb on this. Okay, this is what I would like. This sounds good. And some of it, again, I would use Instagram as one because it's, sign up now. Okay, well, you hear the little 2-minute informational on it, and then it gets you interested into the, okay, this is something I'm really looking into. Okay, let me look a little bit further. Those are for most of them, and for even myself, that's one of the ways that it's okay. Well, let me look at this. This does sound interesting. It does sound like it might be something I do want to look into a little bit further. And oh, look, you know what? Let me click into it. Oh, look, it says there are hours of availability. Oh, look, it says that if I want to, I can leave a message here and they'll message me back. And that communication back and forth, once you message on the side and you can get those messages in the background. Some people don't respond to text message and they respond to their Instagram better. Some people, you think they're not online, and then all of a sudden you just get a full dissertation from them, like, whoa, they're here. And they'll leave you that message overnight and you see it in the morning. And that communication after hours or at their availability that they could pose the question to you that you can answer back, I think would make a big difference.
Well, you're making me feel good about some of the changes we're making in our firm, because that is some of these things you talked about. We are putting into effect, and it just makes me feel good to know that these changes we're making will be effective and be able to reach more people in your industry. Let me ask you this: what what advice would you give to a brand new newbie, a new healthcare professional just coming in, starting maybe their first week or two on the job? What advice would you give them regarding their financial future?
I would definitely say you need to get in touch with someone who knows. Get a financial advisor. Learn in advance, because and I have this conversation. You're so young. I know I probably sound like your mom telling you. I said, but get be sure you're utilizing your benefits. Get into your benefits plan. You have, and especially because I know, right? I know where I work. You have a 401k plan. Invest. I know you're single. I know you're just starting. Start investing now. You can plan. You have this money available to you. Ask someone if you don't know. I said, I even had to use something like a 401k calculator. I said, if you don't think, ask questions, get in touch with someone who knows, because that guidance would have made such a difference so long ago that it would have helped me to go forward even more than where I am now. I know it would have, because I know things that I did by myself trying to figure out, where I think, well, at least I feel like I did a little bit of good for myself, but I could have done better. And that is my advice to them: is get a financial advisor, have someone who can help you Be sure it's somebody who you can talk to and asks you questions. Be sure it's somebody who makes it personal, somebody who's able to find out, what do you really need right now? You know what? Maybe I don't need to plan for when I'm going to need Medicare, but at least I can start with my 401k. This is what is going to be financially appropriate for me at this time, starting off working, because I've never worked before. You know what? What is appropriate for me? Where should I start and how do I get there? I think that if somebody would have guided me through that at that point, things would probably have looked different. Not that they don't look horrible, but it could have been better.
Well, that's great advice. And I hope those that see this podcast, that whether they're starting a new profession or new job in the healthcare industry, or whether they're starting a new job in retail or any other type of profession, that they take that advice. So let me recap a little bit about what I heard from you today in regards to how an advisor can be have positive effect for healthcare workers and people in your profession. Number one is being able to communicate with them. And you brought up social media, Instagram, being able to receive messages or inquiries from them and be able to respond in a timely manner. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. And number two, would it be correct as an advisor is flexible enough with their hours, not just have office hours, but possibly see them on weekends, see them in the early evening or the late evening if necessary, or even see them in their home, see them in locations that are more convenient for them to get to. If an advisor is able to provide that flexibility to meet with them, do you see that also as a positive?
100%. I think that's one of the biggest things is, as I said before, is our time. Everybody's time is precious to them, and for us, and I say us as healthcare workers, right? It's those days that you have off that you say, or time that you have off, that it's, oh my goodness, where could I meet you? Where can I fit you in? What is your flexibility? You being flexible and making our time important, I believe, would be a significant.
Anissa, is there anything maybe we haven't brought up or in this conversation that you would like to share with your fellow healthcare professionals or with the public? Is there anything maybe you would like to, anything else you'd like to share?
I think sharing the fact that there is just a multitude of things that you can do to prepare for your retirement and just to invest. I think understanding that and knowing that, you know what, maybe, and like I'm talking about a 401k, but maybe you're not interested in a 401k. Maybe you want to manage your own money. Maybe you just need help managing your own money. People, I joke and I tell people, if you think it's going to grow under the mattress, it's not. It's not a tree. You need to get it to grow somewhere, and you want to watch your money grow, but it's not going to grow under the mattress. We need to figure out something, and sometimes you need somebody to help you figure that out. Reaching out to somebody, and you know what, maybe it's not a good idea for you, but you don't know until you ask. And I've always told my children, always, and they'll tell you today, what's the worst that could happen? You say no, but you won't know unless you ask. So asking is the most important part, and finding out that information so that you can. And again, if you decide no, then it's no, but you at least investigated and had someone give you that information and help you to understand and know, well, you know what, maybe it's not a possibility for me now, but maybe it will be in another year. But I need to know that so that I can plan accordingly.
Well, Anissa, thank you so much. I want to thank you for your time, for coming to visit with us today and sharing your story, sharing insights on how your healthcare workers could work with a financial advisor and professional to help them become financially independent and successful. If you would like to have a conversation on how we can help you, please call us. You can call our office at area code 956-994-0407, or please go to our website, www.mahfinancial.biz. Let me repeat that, www.mahfinancial.biz. I want to thank you, Anissa, again for being here. And I would like to thank everybody else for your time and your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Retire Rich, Tales of Financial Freedom. Have questions about topics covered during the show? Visit our website at www.mahfinancial.biz or give us a call at 956-994-0407. Don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Investment advisory services and financial planning services are offered through Simplicity Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. SEC registration does not constitute an endorsement of the firm, nor does it indicate that the advisor has attained a particular level of skill or ability. Insurance, consulting, and education services offered through M.A.H. Financial. M.A.H. Financial is an unaffiliated entity from Simplicity Wealth. Clicking the like button does not constitute a testimonial for or an endorsement of our investment advisory firm, any associated person, or our services. Clicking the like button is merely a mechanism to circulate our page. Like is not meant in the traditional sense. In addition, postings to our page must refrain from recommending us or providing testimonials for our investment advisory firm. Because the SEC and state securities regulators generally prohibit testimonials, any such postings are subject to swift removal.
The views expressed herein reflect the views of Marc Hernandez and Carlos Lopez as of the date referenced. These views may change as conditions change. The views expressed herein are not intended and should not be construed as investment advice, and they do not address any individual's specific situation.